I'm going to show you a picture that is going to completely change the way that you see your life. And I actually stuck this in the front page of my Bible because I want to be reminded every day of the most important thing that I could possibly be reminded of. But first, I have a particular thought when things are going bad, which is a comfort to me. And that is that all of the things of this life are going to pass away, and one day I'm going to stand before God, and that's all that's going to matter. I also have a thought when things are going well, which is a warning to me. And that is that all of the things of this life are going to pass away, and one day I'm going to stand before God, and that's all that's going to matter. So in other words, it would be very wise for us to think about eternity at all times. When we think about Christianity, we're actually talking about extraordinary things if you think about it. We're talking about the meaning of life. We're talking about the consequences of death. We're talking about the judgment throne of God. And we're talking about an eternity spent either in bliss that we cannot describe or a torment that we cannot comprehend. And for believers, it will be a bliss that we cannot describe. But it is so important how we live here on the earth because God has called us to have an impact for all of eternity. And when we think about our life here on the earth, in comparison to eternity, it is very brief. There are some verses that speak about this. James chapter 4:14, it says, "What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." And we see in Psalm 103 verses 15 to 16, it says, "As for man, his days are like grass. He flourishes like a flower of the field, for the wind passes over it, and it is gone, and its place knows it no more." Think about this. If you were to take the average lifespan here on earth of around 70 to 80 years and divide it by infinity, the answer is 0. Your time here on the earth is nothing compared to eternity, which has no end. Your life here on the earth will come to an end. Are you prepared for that moment? So when we compare our life to eternity, we see that our life is just like a blip on the screen, just like that. And any person who is a thinking person, a serious person, is going to realize that because of that, every single decision that we make here on the earth should be made in light of eternity, because ultimately that's all that's going to matter. Solomon, who tried all the things of life, concluded in Ecclesiastes 12:13, "The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." And this is what I want to focus on, living a faithful life here on earth to have an impact for eternity. So coming to this picture that I was talking about, the reason I put this picture in the front of my Bible is because it is very easy to lose sight of this eternal perspective, and I want to be reminded of it at all times. So I'm going to show you this picture. This particular picture, it is a low resolution picture. It's not very impressive in terms of quality, but in terms of impact, it most certainly is. So I'm going to show you this from my Bible, and then I'm going to put it up on the screen. And if you have a look at that there, so what this picture is a picture of a man at the end of his life, kneeling before the throne of God. You can see the bright light. You can see the angels on the side. You can see the open scrolls. The reason that I want to be reminded of this all the time is because I know that one day my life will come to an end. And that person appearing before God will be me. And I want to be prepared. I want to live my life in light of eternity. Because, as we know, ultimately, at the end of the day, nothing else matters. I want to make my desire every day to live for eternity. Do you want to make that your desire too?